From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBIC, the Primetime Capper. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you are feeling the same. And it is time for the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles. And, man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Last night, hey, great night last night. I keep it real. We had our plus 11 last night, and the Wizards actually win by 19 points. But with my clients last night, I also went ahead and I gave them sorry about that. I gotta make sure I got the mic over here. And I made sure that we had last night we made sure we cashed out that 305 on the Hornets. I said I'm gonna be bold tonight. I'm gonna take the money line tonight because I feel like if I take the money line tonight, I'll have a way of, kind of, if things go to the left with the other plays tonight, we can probably have something that can go ahead and keep us, grounded, trying to get this hat straightened out. When you start looking at yourself in the camera, you be like, and I'm not trying to have my stuff like a little bit, I'm not trying to be 290s with it, to be side with the cap. But yeah, it was amazing last night that they won that game by 3 points. It was a very good call. I'm glad that we got that one home, plus 300, 3-1. That was a very, very big hit for us last night in the basketball world. The rest of our plays did absolutely shitty, but it's okay. It happens. Wisconsin, I was a victim of Wisconsin too last night. Wisconsin losing that game by 2 points, and we're up 12 points at the half, scored 13 points in the second half. There's nothing you can do about it, right? So then we had the very, very, intriguing game with UAB and Utah Valley. They only won their game by 2 points as well, too. And then I just couldn't get anything right with the Heat last night. The Heat scored 92 points. I needed them to score 109. It's that simple. So it is what it is, but we have had a pretty good month regardless, though. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's talk about Bronny last night. But you know what? Before I get into Bronny and all this good stuff Bronny was doing last night, Bronny was over there on fire and killing it and, had 5 of 8 from 3 and all that good stuff. But you know what? He wasn't even the MVP last night, but that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. The MVP last night was Isiah Collier, a kid that's actually headed to USC next year. And the East MVP was DJ Wagner, the son of DeJuan Wagner, the grandson of Milt Wagner. Both were All-Americans as well, too. He's the first ever third-generation All-American. So hopefully when DJ has his son, he can possibly have his son be in the All-American game if it still exists. Because, we can't act like things are still going to be around in the next 25 years because the way that things are moving nowadays in prep sports, they're figuring out new ways to just, eliminate certain things. So you have to be prepared for that part as well. But if we're fortunate enough, I probably won't be here for that. But if we're fortunate enough, then that would be great to see a fourth generation child play into this game, and possibly it could be his daughter too. But it was a great game last night. Bronny was able to kind of get a good go-ahead bucket, but it wasn't enough. The East wound up scoring the last 4 points of the game to win the game. This is one of the closer games that they had in some time, and the game wasn't your average exhibition game between high school teams. They actually they actually put their spirit into it. And I said that's exactly how you're supposed to play the East-West All-American McDonald's game, is that you're supposed to have a high intense game between East and West, because you're supposed to be the best players from the East and you're the best players from the West. Who wants to sit up there and get beat by 30 points? Seriously. And I know that you guys have already settled in on your colleges and you guys have your colleges. You're going to be good. Everything's going to be all right. You're moving forward. But at the end of the day, though, there's people in the nation that have never seen you. And the announcers that are calling the game have never seen you. So the first glimpse of you that we get and we don't see what we think we're supposed to see, they're automatically going to think that you're a kid that's going to be a bust. So you want to make sure that you show out and show improve. And I think LeBron James Jr. showed out and show improved last night. It was really funny that they thought he was going to wear number 23 in the All-American game. He winds up wearing his dad's jersey. And a lot of people don't know this. LeBron actually wore number 32 in the All-American game. So, he was paying more homage to Magic than he was MJ. So, to everybody who always wants to mention the two in the same breath. So, it was really funny how those rumors were getting started by these really over the top blogs that literally take anything and say that's the truth. So, we're starting to figure out who's real and who's fake. And it's starting to actually be pretty good for all of us moving forward when it comes to sports in general. Now, real quick about the girls' game. The girls' game was absolutely the show stealer, in my opinion. You had Juju Watkins, very, very, very good basketball player. No, let's just keep it real. She's great. When you say he got game, she got game. Because literally, Juju Watkins just did USC a favor. That's all she did. She could have went to the WNBA out of high school. I promise you that. She could have been on the Sparks next season and been an impact player for the Sparks next season. If she decided to go to the WNBA, if you could go to the WNBA from high school. And I'm very good friends with her grandfather as well, too. My man Frosty Mack. So pretty much me and Frosty talked about a year ago. It was at a fight, to be exact, too. And I told him, I said, man, she's a really good player. I said, have you guys ever thought about bringing her out, possibly leaving high school and just going straight to the WNBA? She looks like she might be a little bit too good to play in college. And he said that, they thought about it, but, they're going to go the right route and everything like that. So she's going to go to USC, and she's going to go there with Isiah Collier as well, too, who's the number one player in the nation on the boys' side, and she's the number one player in the nation on the girls' side. So once again, USC goes ahead and lands two very, very great prospects that kind of people are a little shocked by, but it's USC. USC is a great campus, a great university, and USC can always pull in whoever they want to if they want that player. So it was great to see that she did that, but she got actually outscored last night. She had 25, and Hillary Hidalgo from New Jersey had 26 points last night. So she wound up winning the East MVP, and she goes to Notre Dame, but Juju's team won the game. So it's going to be pretty fun if we do get ourselves a USC Notre Dame matchup, why those two are still in college as well, too. And I think that's going to be a game that's going to break some records, possibly if it's on ESPN or something of that nature. But hey, girls basketball, college basketball is the prime ticket right now. The girls are doing pretty well in the tournament as well, too. They got a star player on that side that they're very hyped up about. So, it was all good, and it was a great game last night. I truly do think that Bronny is a guy that does need to stay in college for 3 years. Don't listen to the NBA wannabe scout saying that he's ready and he's ready to roll and da-da-da-da-da. Bronny's not 6'9" like his father and 260. He's about 6'3", 6'4", a good slender 215. He's in great shape. He has the best trainers in the world around him. And the thing is, he's not the top player. So you shouldn't even make him think he's the top player right now. I think that he could be the top player in the draft if he spends at least 2 years in college. I promise you that. And Bronny in college would be something absolutely amazing because he would bring an actual star power to any team. And none of these freshmen in the last 3 or 4 years have been able to do that, literally since Lonzo Ball. So there it is. There it is. Let's go ahead. We move forward from there. Let's go ahead and talk about this boxing match that's coming up in June. And this is going to be it's going to be in May. It's going to be May 20th, not June 20th. It's going to be May 20th. This is going to be Mr. Devin Haney, the Dream, going against the Matrix, Vasily Lomachenko. So you have Haney Loma set for the undisputed clash in Vegas on May 20th. Will be televised on ESPN pay-per-view. This comes exactly a month after the Ryan Garcia Tank Davis fight. So, we're pretty much in line to have a pretty good boxing year because boxing has to make up for all the BS that they've been putting us through for the last decade. So this fight was really inevitable. But the funny thing is that Lomachenko actually had the opportunity to fight Devin a few years ago when Devin first became the WBC interim champion. And there was a little bit of controversy there. And what wound up happening was Lomachenko wound up being franchised by the WBC, and Devin was lifted up to being the actual WBC champion. Then the hating started about Devin being an email champ, and Devin never earned a title in the ring, and Devin never did this, and Devin never did that, blah, 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 blah. So Devin just goes off and defends the belt 3 or 4 times after that, fights very credible fighters in Jojo Diaz, Jorge Linares, and also Yuri Gamboa. All 3 of these guys, I won't say JoJo's a Hall of Famer, but Linares and Gamboa are possibly Hall of Famers sometime 10, 15 years down the road. So he beat those 2 as he built his resume, and then he got his big fight against George Kambosos for all the belts. George Kambosos had one lucky night in New York City against Teofimo Lopez. I don't care what anybody says. If Teofimo wasn't half dead, Teofimo will knock that guy out by the 3rd round. George Kambosos is merely just a journeyman. That's pretty much what he was. He should never even been able to beat Mickey Bay at the Garden. That was just absolute. Everything with him in those 2 wins that he had were very controversial. They were both split decisions and everything like that. Could have went either way. And so pretty much George Kambosos, as I kept telling everybody, was a placeholder. That means that you're holding on to the belts until the real champion comes and picks them up. And instead of Lomachenko getting the fight, Devin Haney got the fight because he was seen as the easier option by Kambosos. Kambosos went into the fight and absolutely got wrecked by Devin, not once but twice in his home country of Australia as well too. So Devin Haney goes ahead and checks off some more off the checklist. So Devin Haney has made some of the strongest moves in boxing for any young prospect that we've ever seen. He started off pretty much as an independent, him and his father paying for their way around to, get his first 10, 12 fights down in Mexico and other places as well, because he started his career at 17. And then Devin was able to parlay that into a quick little, deal with PBC. Really Showtime with Steven Espinosa. He was able to fight a few fights on Showbox and things of that nature and be on a couple undercards with them. And then Eddie Hearn came out and spent some money and brought Devin in and became a partner in Devin Haney Promotions. And they co-promoted Devin for, I think, 3 years. So pretty much Devin was able to get a lot of more buzz on Matchroom. It didn't go the way that a lot envisioned it would go, because Eddie just didn't know how to promote Devin in the right fashion and form. But he gave Devin a lot of opportunities to have big stages and to be a headliner and all this stuff that really comes with being a world champion. So Devin Haney has been great at boxing one-on-one and taking his time and taking the proper steps to get where you need to get to. And pretty much once he was able to solidify some wins, he was able to get himself in front of the world and have his biggest moment. And pretty much Everybody can say Devin's not this and Devin's not popular. Well, there were 3 million people that watched him win his undisputed world championship on pay-per-view on ESPN regular. So we're going to stop the whole conversation about nobody knows who Devin Haney is, because everybody knows who Devin Haney is. Do they want to speak on Devin Haney? Probably not, because everybody has their favorites. I keep talking to people about this. People have their certain favorite boxers, so they're going to cheerlead for their favorite boxers. Devin Haney is the perfect example of a guy that has came into the room and he's able to pay for the room. And a lot of people get pissed off about it because they just really feel like he's skipping the line or he's not doing it the way that they want him to do it. And Devin Haney has done it the right way, because Devin Haney and his father studied the game. Devin Haney and his father have been around this boxing business the last 30 years, pretty much. Well, Devin's only 24, but Devin has been around this boxing business since he was 8 years old. 7, 8 years old, with Zab Judah right on his hip with Zab and his kids. So literally, Devin has been doing this for almost 20 years himself. So pretty much his father looked at what the issues were in boxing and looked at how you put yourself in rooms and put yourself in positions, and they came up with the master plan. That's why everybody gets mad about Devin Haney, is because they have a plan that actually works. Everybody else has a plan, but then if their promoter doesn't agree to that plan, then they can't do that plan. At the end of the day, Devin Haney doesn't need a promoter. Devin Haney is in business is a businessman who has his own business that pertains to boxing. And pretty much what happens is that he co-promotes with these big promoters. So now he finally got to Big Bob Arum, a perfect match for him and his father, because all they need Bob Arum to do is get him fights. That's it. Get him fights, and those fights can be in Las Vegas. Those fights can be in New York. It doesn't matter. Just give Devin the fights that he needs and the exposure that he needs on ESPN. And it has worked in both of his fights. Now Devin is seen as a very, very big name in the game. And he's going against the guy that they said 2-3 years ago, when I first started covering it, when I first started, really working the boxing scene on the media and everything like that, they said Lomachenko was the number one pound for pound in the world. They swore he was the best fighter in the world, that nobody could stop the Matrix. He had some great fights. He made Rigondeaux in his prime pretty much quit. He also stopped Jorge Linares, who was still in his prime when he stopped him as well, too, but a fading prime as well. And Rigondeaux was a little bit too small for him. But all in all, he always showed up and showed up big for these fights. And then pandemic hit. And it kind of got forced that he would have to fight Teofimo Lopez, because Teofimo Lopez was able to acquire the IBF belt, a belt that Lomachenko wanted badly, so then he could go ahead and become the undisputed lightweight champion of the world, even though he didn't have the WBC belt either. He had the WBA and the WBO, and he had the franchise WBC belt and the Ring Magazine light heavyweight belt, the lightweight belt. So there was a close fight between him and Tio. I actually had the fight in a draw, and I felt like the second half of the fight, I love Tio. Tio's my boy. He's my dog. But I felt like Tio lost the second half of the fight. I'll keep it real with you. From round 7 to rounds 12, I felt like Tio was out of that fight. But in the first 6 rounds or so, Tio absolutely handled his business with Lomachenko and showed that he could stay in the same ring as Lomachenko. So what happens is that the new kid on the block gets the titles, right? So Teofimo wins the titles. Teofimo was the biggest, hypest thing going in boxing at the moment. Everybody was so happy for Teofimo because Teofimo was the prospect of the year. Teofimo was seen as the boxer that was the next up, the next on the rise, And then then he has to literally cancel the George Kambosos fight. I would say it was 3 times they had to cancel the fight. First time the fight was going to be in Miami, then it was going to be in Miami again. And the problem was that he tried to go to a different broadcaster in Triller. And Triller was really bad at, Triller won the bid for the fight. So they were kind of stuck with Triller. So what happened is Triller wound up losing out on the bid because they took too long, and really they went ahead and just had to rescind the money because the thing is it just took too long to do the fight, and so they didn't want to do it anymore. So what happens is Eddie Hearn steps in with Matchroom, and they get the Garden, and George Kambosos is somewhat in bed with Matchroom in a sense, even though he's somewhat in bed with Top Rank as well too. So what happens is that you had Tiafimo really put a lot of effort into trying to beat George Kambosos, but the thing was he had a very, very serious medical issue going on during that fight. I know a lot of people say that's excuses, but it actually happened. So pretty much he loses the fight by split decision. Now, these two meet up, and now it's no more, oh, go get a championship, Devin. Oh, you're not big enough, Devin. Oh, you don't draw enough, Devin. Now there's no more excuses. Devin Haney is at his moment of truth. David Haney beats Lomachenko. You guys can go ahead and put him in the top 3 pound for pound. And we can argue about that all day long if you want to, because you are not going to sit up in here and overlook a guy that wins one of these cherished divisions in boxing. Lightweight is considered one of the key divisions in boxing, correct? Because you guys overhype the lightweight division on a daily basis because you guys feel like that's where all the talent is at. I have to really disagree because I'm always going to be about the heavyweights. I don't care at the end of the day. Lightweights will go in there and they'll be great for you, but they can go ahead and disappoint you too. But any boxer can disappoint you. But my last point is this: Devin Haney is now right here in your face. You can't keep saying that you don't know who he is, he don't sell enough, he don't do enough, because Lomachenko begged for this fight. And this was a fight that Lomachenko was avoiding a few years ago. But Lomachenko said he wants his belts back. And Lomachenko understands that the iron is hot right now. And Devin Haney is sizzling right now. And he's seen as the star boxer on ESPN. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. When we get to the 2 weeks into getting into this fight, especially fight week, Devin Haney will be doing every single show on ESPN. He may even do some Fallon and some Jimmy Kimmel, because that's what type of situation Devin is dealing with now. It's no more of this, prospect stuff. The guy's a world champion. And your favorite guy, your favorite boxers have never even touched the same level as Devin at this point. You know what I mean? The guy has 4 belts, lineal champion. How much more does he have to do? That's my biggest question. How much more does he have to do? Because at the end of the day, y'all starting to sound real stupid. You know what I mean? I understand you like your guy. Your guy is awesome, whoever that may be. But he's not doing what he's doing and has never done what he's been doing. So you can't say he's not fighting anybody, because he is. You can't say that he doesn't have any exposure, because he's on ESPN now and he's their star boxer. All right. So I'm just going to end it with that. I'm not trying to meet ride Haney or anything of that nature. I know some of you haters will probably try to say that, but I'm just kicking facts. You know what I mean? And if you don't like facts, then you know what? You don't need to watch this show. Okay? Because that's all we deal with over here. And everything I pointed out is real. So all in all, keep on pushing, Dev. And I can't wait for May 20th, honestly. And when I interviewed Devin Haney back in 2018, back at Madison Square Garden for the first time, and when we got done with the interview, I said, that's the one right there. Professional, pays attention, very articulate, and a very, very just constant professional. And he does everything the right way. He doesn't get enough love for that portion right there. So, everybody talks about he's trying to be Floyd, he's trying to be this, he's trying to be that. I think that he's taking a mixture of all his favorite boxers, and he's just going to be the best Devin Haney he can be. You know what I mean? And I think that looks really good. So, with that, let's go ahead and move on to our next subject in hand, and that's going to be the Dodgers. It's 30 teams, 30 days. The Dodgers. The Dodgers are over here trying to get themselves back into the mix. You know what I mean? Meaning that they trying to win a World Series again. This team had the best record in baseball last year. 111 wins, 51 losses. Let's say that again. 111 wins and 51 losses. They were 10 games better than anybody else in the MLB. 10 games better than anybody else in the MLB. Absolutely incredible. This team had the biggest meltdown of all time. They lose in the divisional series to none other than their arch rival, the San Diego Padres. And the Dodgers wind up, and you know what was, I don't want to even get into it because it was such a sad situation for me personally when it was going on. It wasn't even about the Dodgers. It was about my father, actually, in his final days and everything like that, and how that final Dodger game was his final Dodger game. So, it's a lot of emotion going into this season for me and for the Dodgers as well, too, because there's just a lot that the Dodgers have to show and prove. That was a bad taste in everybody's mouth. You felt like this was the team, this was the moment, this was the year, and the Dodgers absolutely failed. And they failed against the team that they had been beaten up on all season, and that was the Padres. Padres were literally the Dodgers' little poodle dog. You know what I mean? The Dodgers were just kicking them up and down the street, literally all season long. Juan Soto played a very key part in the Dodgers losing that series. I'm not going to pull any punches with that and act like he wasn't the killer, because he was, just like he was when it was his Nationals who suddenly beat the Dodgers as well too. And I really do feel like there's a lot of sign stealing going on with Soto that ain't nobody going to speak about until they get really mad at him. But come on, how can a guy do that twice to you? Think about that. But at the end of the day, you got to win the game. You got to be smart. You got to go about it. It's your business. The Dodgers literally made very bad mistakes in game 4. The Dodgers could have won that series. That was the biggest problem with that series, is that the Dodgers know they could have won that series, but they made a few mistakes in game 2 and they made a few mistakes in game 4 that you just couldn't come back from. So pretty much, you're up 3-0. You take out a pitcher who's absolutely dominant, and, things go to the left. It happens. But you know what? We ain't worried about what happened last year. The Dodgers had another great season. It was Dave Roberts' I think 4th 100-win season as the Dodgers manager as well too. Dave Roberts is the best manager in baseball as well. So, you can't stop talking about firing. Guys winning 95-plus games minimum a season. Why were you talking about firing him? Come on. There's teams that haven't won in the major leagues in 30 years. They wish they had a Dave Roberts winning them 100 games a year. You guys have to understand how hard it is to win a World Series. You're playing 162 games off top. And then you got to play, I think, what is it? You play 3 out of 5, 5, 7, 5, 7, and 7. So that means you got 19 more games if you go all the way through those series. So that means that all in all, you're actually playing 181 games in a season. So this is hard. This is difficult. And the Dodgers are a definition of that. And pretty much, yeah, man. Yeah, nephew, everybody has their favorite boxers, but we got to face the facts too, right? You know what I mean? You got to face the facts though too. But let's get into this Dodgers lineup. You got Mookie Betts. They have him projected to be the leadoff man again, but they got Mookie Betts actually leading the team in home runs. The projected stats, they got Mookie hitting 29 home runs next year. Then you got the always great Freddie Freeman. They have him hitting 26 home runs, and then they got Will Smith having himself a big year this year as well too. They got Chili Willie hitting same numbers as last year. They said that he's projected to hit 25 home runs. Last year he hit 25 4 and had 87 RBIs. I know he's trying to be a 100 RBI guy, but Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, seen as the 2 top base stealers as well too. I hope Mookie steals more than 15 bases next year, because the Dodgers truly do need a little. The Dodgers truly need a little speedster out there on the base pads. I remember when they had Juan Pierre, that was a lot of fun. Juan Pierre wasn't a home run hitter, but he was a guy that got on base just as much as he got on base to make himself so much that it made him a little bit more valuable than a power hitter. The Dodgers actually overpaid for him from what a lot of people thought, but he was absolutely a gem for the Dodgers because they went to the playoffs literally every year he was there. Now, Will Smith, 25 home runs. Max Muncy, they have him set up for 27. And then you got JD Martinez, they said should have 22. Now, David Peralta is going to be one of the starting outfielders, but I don't think that he's going to start for long. They just have him here because he has some stats in place, but I truly do think that Outman is going to be the man in the outfield. Now, Trace Thompson comes back. Trace Thompson played well enough to keep his spot and for the Dodgers to walk off from Cody Bellinger because they're spending a lot less on Trace Thompson, but Trace Thompson probably doesn't have a lot of time to prove what he can do, but he is projected to hit 16 home runs this year and 51 RBIs as well. And he should be feeling pretty good coming back from playing in the WBC with the British team with UK. Miguel Vargas, the young stud rookie, they have some good numbers on him coming into this year. He's the possible rookie of the year as well too. They said he's projected to hit 14 home runs, 64 RBIs, 67 runs, 8 stolen bases. I hope that he kind of ups that up. And then the new kid in town, Miguel Rojas, who was acquired by the Dodgers from the Marlins, their brand new shortstop. He's going to be your regular 9-hole hitter, and he looks like he's going to be one of the better percentage guys on the Dodgers. So he should set up the table a lot for Mookie and Freddie as well too. So that should give them the little rabbit that they do need running around those bases. And the Dodgers, once again, they present one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. Period, point blank. You got Julio Urias, the 20-game winner from last year. First 20-game winner in like 6 years. Then you got Dustin May coming back around off the Tommy John surgery. He was a little off last year, but now I think that the guy will be back to his 2021 form. Clayton Kershaw, the old ace, the old man now. He used to be the young man. Now he's the old man. You guys got to understand, Clay came up at 19. So it's just crazy to see that Clay Kershaw is literally entering like the twilight of his career, and I've seen the whole thing. So pretty much he comes back, and he will be the most sturdy Dodger as is. And, he can always be trusted. Then you got Noah Syndergaard. Noah Syndergaard looks to have a bounce-back season here with the Dodgers. He's been absolutely incredible in spring training, and he loves being a Dodger as well, too. So I think that he's going to be pretty good. His ERA is not projected to do well, but come on, he's with the Dodgers. So they'll clean that up. They'll fix that up, and everything will work out for him. And then we got Ryan Pepiot. Ryan Pepiot is the next big arm in the Dodgers arsenal that they've been waiting on, and I think Ryan Pepiot is going to be absolutely a gem. Now you got Tony Gonsolin, who's working on getting back in the rotation. He's coming back in late April. Michael Groves, a guy that's still working it out as well too. He is somebody. They're going to be back in Oklahoma City, and they haven't announced the 5th starter yet, but we all know that they want to go with Pepiot because Pepiot is probably the most ready. Then you got Gavin Stone. We already knew that he was already going to be going back to Oklahoma City. He did pretty good the other day, but they're going to wait a little bit with him as well. He'll start the season in Oklahoma City. You want to get the guy innings. And then Walker Buehler is still slowly working his way back to the Dodgers as well too, because that he had Tommy John and pretty much it looks like that. If anything, he'll be out majority. He'll be out. He'll be back later on this season, hopefully, but most likely he might be out for the whole season. So, but if you can get him back, that would be great. And the Dodgers have. It looks like they're trying to decide between five guys as the closer, and I would say that the closer will probably be Brissett or Gradiol. I think Gradiol probably does get the look, and it would be a good look. But I like Evan Phillips. I think Evan Phillips is really, really good. But the Dodgers do have some pretty good arms here as well. Shelby Miller will be with them. Yency Almeida, Almonte's still there as well. Phil Bickford, a guy that I'm real high on. Phil Bickford he's a big tryhard. I love the way that he plays. So with that, the Dodgers, how I'm feeling right now with them, I feel like the Dodgers will be a team that winds up actually being right where they need to be. I got the Dodgers going under 96.5 wins this year. That doesn't mean they don't make the playoffs, because the Dodgers, I feel like, are probably going to stop right at 96. They're not a 100-win team this year. Let's just keep it real. They're not going to be a 100-win team. I hope that they get off to a pretty to an even April. I got a feeling that April is going to be a little tough on the Dodgers, because they got a quick, easy 7 games off top, but then they got to play against some pretty probably some teams that are going to be pretty hot to start the year off. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But all in all, I got them going under 96.5. And here goes real quick the predictions and winners for this division, and we'll have more for you guys in a second, because I have all the division that we've been reviewing over the last few weeks. And today we have the Diamondbacks over 75.5. We got the Rockies. I got them finishing dead last at under 66.5. Then I got the Dodgers under 96.5, Padres under 93.5, but I still expect a close race between the two. And then we have the Giants over 81.5. And come on, I'm never going to pick the Giants or the Padres over the Dodgers to win the NL West. Dodgers could be the worst team in the division, but I'm going to always pick the Dodgers to win the division. You know what I mean? But if it was realistic and the Dodgers weren't one of the better teams in the division, I would try to be cute and be like, Arizona got a chance. But Arizona does have some good players, though. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take our first break. And I went well over as well, too. But, I had a lot to talk about. So you guys stay tuned. I'm probably going to speed it up a little bit as we get back to the show. So pretty much you guys stay tuned. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Captain.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we are back with the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Gapper. All right, let's go ahead and get in the state of the Lakers. The Lakers bringing back D'Lo tonight, and D'Lo tonight is going to be – it should be good. It should be good. The Lakers trying to get back on the good foot right now. The Lakers, that was a bad loss the other day to the Bulls, but it's okay. As I said before, the Lakers have to finish 7-3 in their last 10 games, and right now they're 2-1. So they're ahead. They're right where they need to be at. So we don't need to sit up in here overthinking this thing a little bit. The Lakers can afford to lose a little bit, not a lot though. All right, so the Bulls are 8-5 here in the month of March. They lost their last game to the Clippers on Monday night, 124-112, after beating the Lakers on Sunday night in their first meeting of the season, beating the Lakers by 10, 118-108. At home, straight up, this team is 20-17. Versus the West, they're 11-16 straight up. And then when it comes down to the spread, they're 36-36-3 against the spread. Now, when it comes down to the spread at home, they're 19-17-1. And when it comes down to the spread versus the Western Conference, they're 10-16-1. And in their 75 games this year, they've actually went under in 42 of them. Lakers, 8-5 here in the month of March. Lost their last game to the Bulls, as I said, on Sunday, 118-108, but they had 2 days off, so that should be pretty good because the Lakers have played, I think, 4 games in about 7 days last week. So that was good for them to get that little day off. Then they were 16-20. They're 16-20 this year, straight up on the road, 16-19-1 against the spread. When it comes down to playing the Eastern Conference, 15-14 straight up, 14-15 against the spread. And when it comes to the spread, they're 36-38-1. So the Lakers don't really have a lot of separation. That's just always cracks me up that the Lakers really have no separation at all when it comes to the spread this year. Seriously, their win record is just like their losing record. Their straight up record is just damn near like they're against the spread record. Not good. So pretty much we have a pretty good game tonight. The Lakers do need to win this game. This is a must-win situation for the Lakers. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's a must-win for the Bulls, but not that much of a must-win. I think that they pretty much have that 10th seed solidified, even though that was a big win last night for the Wizards. But all in all, I still think that they are in good shape. They're 2.5 games up, so there's nothing to panic about. And I think that Pat Beverly got his little revenge game in the other day, and I think that's what was kind of like where I think the Lakers overplayed because they really wanted to beat them because what Pat Bev was saying. Tonight, we're not going to care, and they're just going to go in there and play the game. And I think if they just go in there and play the game, they shouldn't have any issues beating the Bulls. Let's just keep it real. The Bulls are good, but the Bulls are a team that's very overrated, in my opinion. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it checks out. We move forward from there. All right. But state of the Lakers, as I said before, they have to win tonight. If they don't win tonight, it's okay. But that would mean that the Lakers would need to win their next 6 out of 7. Or their next 5 out of 6. Okay? So Lakers, to me, already got to win their next at least 5 out of 7 games. They got to go 5-2 in this stretch. Hopefully they just go 7-0 and we can just, possibly sneak into that 6th seed. But right now, the Lakers are in the playoffs, and the Lakers are making moves towards possibly being in the regular playoffs. So they really have to step their game up tonight. This is a must-win situation, but it doesn't end the season if they lose. That simple. All right, NBA Wednesday night. We got 10 games tonight. I just talked about one of them. So we got 5 that I got on my card for you tonight. So pretty much we start off with one of the funnest rivalries in basketball, even though has been much of a rivalry since we haven't had Coach Van Gundy or Coach Riley prowling those sidelines. But everybody knows the Heat and the Knicks used to get real physical, real tough, real brawler like. So you got the Heat 40-36. You got the Knicks 43-33. Both of these teams are in position to be in the playoffs right now. The Knicks are sitting at the 5 seed as we speak, but they're chasing the Cavaliers. And then you have the Heat at the 7 seed right now. They're trying to get themselves into a play-in position, but they just can't catch up with the Nets. But they're only a half a game out. Last night's loss kind of messed them up because they could have been tied with the Nets and possibly already in the 6 hole. But tonight they got the Knicks, and that's where their game is at. So the Heat come into this game 7-7 in the month of March. And I said, as I already said, they lost last night by 14 to Toronto. And then they are 14-22 straight up on the road, 34-41 against the spread, and 17-21-1 against the spread on the road. Now, when it comes to being a road dog, they're 5-12 straight up, 7-10 against the spread. And when it comes to playing the Eastern Conference, they're 21-26 straight up, 19-27-1 versus the East. Now, when it comes down to their 76 games on the over and under, they went under in 40 of them. Now, you have the Knicks. The Knicks are 7-6 this month. Won their last game, 137-115 on Monday night versus the Rockets. Now, when it comes down to the home court advantage, they are 21-17 straight up, and then they are 17-18-3 against the spread at home. Now, as a home favorite, they're 15-11 straight up, and they are 11-13-2 as against the spread. Now, when it comes down to playing the Eastern Conference, 28-19 straight up, 15-13-1 against the spread. And over and unders in their 76 games, they went over 39 times. So tonight, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually say that this game winds up being a very, very good game. But I think what happens here is that this game winds up actually last night we couldn't get the over. Tonight we're going to get the over because I really can't pick a winner here, but the Knicks do lead this series 2-1 this year, and they dominated not too long ago. They beat them by 7. They got beat by 7, but they dominated them in the first few games. So, that's something that they do have working in their favor right now. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, but that's going to be our group for that right there. So let's go ahead, move forward, and talk about our next game, which is going to be the Mavs and the 76ers. They played earlier this month. The Mavs actually won that game in Dallas. So pretty much this looks like a get-back game, but they are struggling a bit, the 76ers. But all in all, you got a Mavs team that's struggling even more. They're 5-8 in the month of March. They won their last game though, 127-104. Then they are 15-23 straight up on the road. They're 6-14 on the road as a road underdog. 10-16 straight up versus the East, 29-44-3 against the spread. Now they're 17-21 against the spread on the road. They're 11-9 against the spread as a road underdog. They're 6-18-2 against the spread when it comes to the Eastern Conference. And then when it comes down to their 76 games, they've went over in 39 of them. Now the Sixers come into this game 10-5 and have lost the last 3 games in a row. And they went 1-3 on their recent 4-game road trip. And they've also lost the last 4 out of 5 games. Now, when it comes to straight up wins at home, they're 26-11 against the spread, 22-14-1 against the spread overall, 43-31-1, one of the better records in the NBA. When it comes down to being a home favorite, they are 23-9. And when it comes down to the spread as a home favorite, they are 18-13-1. Now, versus the Western Conference, they're 19-10 straight up, and then they are also 18-11 against the spread. This is a must-win situation for the Mavericks, and this is a game for the 76ers where they just literally, are just kind of going through the motions, but they are trying to hold on to that 3 seed as well, too. Now, we don't know if Embiid's playing. He probably is because he missed the game the other night. You know that Embiid loves challenges, so we'll see how it goes. But you know what? I'm going to be a little bold here because I know this team needs to win this game badly. So I'm going to take the Mavericks as my dog of the day today. So there it is. Plus 150 on that dog of the day. Hopefully we get that bad boy home as well, too. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But that's where we're going with that one today. So pretty much let's go ahead and jump into our next game. And this is going to be a game that absolutely had a little bit of a flip here in a sense. So I don't have to talk about a certain part of it. So pretty much it looks like now the Grizzlies are the dog here. I thought that they were the favorite this morning when I looked at it because I looked at it very closely. And I thought Memphis was the favorite, but Jaren Jackson's not playing tonight. So they totally flipped that around. So I'm looking at it now. So I'm going to switch this out so we have it correct. But for the first time in a while, you have this very good Grizzlies team, the best home team in the league, actually as a dog. And it's just, that's so, I'm like, bro, this team, like, look, when I start reading down their record at home, you're going to all be like, why? You know what I mean? You're going to ask the question, why? Like, literally, why? You know? So, all in all, I truly do feel like this one winds up with the Clippers trying not to put too much pressure on themselves tonight. They trying to get themselves a good little win here. And pretty much that's what they're looking at. And the Clippers coming to this game tonight, this month, they're actually 7-5. And they do lead this season series 1-0. And they're playing the next back-to-back games against the Grizzlies. So tonight could be their night. And because since they're playing back-to-back. Now we have ourselves a team that's 19-8 straight up on the road. They actually have kind of fell off on the road. The Clippers were a lot better on the road. They're 4-13 straight up as a road underdog this year. And then they are, but let's just scratch that out because they're not the underdog anymore. But they're not good as a dog on the road. Now they're 23-23 straight up first to Western Conference. They're 38-38 against the spread. They're 20-17 against the spread on the road. They're 21-25 versus the Western Conference. And when it comes to over and unders, they've actually went under in 41 out of their 76 games. The Grizzlies are absolutely killing it this month. The Grizzlies are actually 11-4 here in the month of March. They won their last 7 games in a row. They're also 4-0 since Morant's return. They're also 33-5 at home. That's good for first. They're 30-4 straight up at home. That's good for first. And versus the Western Conference, they're 28-19. That's excellent straight up. Now, when it comes to the spread, 35-38-2. That's something that's going to be very key when you're betting this team in the playoffs. When it comes down to the home flavor, they're 22-15-1 against the spread. They're 18-15-1 against the spread as a home fave. And then versus the West, they are 19-27-1 against the versus the West. So this team is absolutely just good at home, period, point blank. And they have actually went under in 40 of their 75 games this year. So, you know, with this one right here, I truly do feel like what happens here, we got to play the under. Since we don't have certain people playing for the Grizzlies tonight, we'll go ahead and we'll just play the under. I think the under is the crucial play here. I think the under is pretty much the right play here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this under, and hopefully we can get this bad boy home as well too. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But that's going to be the Clippers and the Grizzlies tonight. And I know the Relly nephew, he likes the Clippers. He likes the Clippers tonight. And pretty much now they were favored by 4. It went from 4 to -1. So they're going crazy on the spread right now. That's all I can say is that they're going crazy on the spread right now. And we're all just trying to figure this thing out as well, too. So it is what it is. It happens. This is a good game, though. And I really, truly feel like they are overselling the Clippers a little bit tonight. But it's cool because the Clippers have not won in this place in a long time, in my opinion. A lot of people ain't going to mention that, but they haven't won here in a while. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, and we move forward from there. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the Wolves and the Suns tonight. The Wolves and the Suns, this should be another really good game. You got a Wolves team 39-37, sitting in the 7 hole for the playoffs right now. You got the Suns who are 40-35. To me, the Suns should really be ready to rock tonight, in my opinion, because they know that they got their boy coming back, Durant, in a few days. And so pretty much when I break this one down and look at my notes, you see a Wolves team coming in here playing some really good basketball, though, at the same time. They've won their last 4 in a row, and they're 7-5 in March after starting off the month, losing their first 5 out of 8 games. So pretty much now this team has won their last 4 in a row, and they find themselves in a pretty good position right now. 7th seed, and they were actually like out of the playoffs for like a game or two. Now they're 18-20 straight up on the road. They're 11-15 straight up as a road underdog. Now, when it comes down to playing the Western Conference, they're 27-20 straight up against the spread, 37-39 against the spread on the road, 19-19 against the spread as a road dog, 13-13 against the spread versus the Western Conference, the same record as 27-20 as they are straight up. Now, when it comes down to their 76 games, they went under in 39 of them. Now, when it comes down to the Suns right now, the Suns are 7-6 here in the month of March. They've won the last 2 in a row. They're 24-12 straight up at home. They are 38-35-2 against the spread and 19-16-1 against the spread at home. They're 21-7 straight up as a home fave. And then they're also 25-20 straight up versus the Western Conference. Now, when it comes down to being a home fave, when they are in the as a home fave, they're 16-11-1 as a home fave against the spread. And then they're 24-20-1 against the spread versus the West. So when it comes down to that, this team is pretty good. Now, when it comes to their over-under, they went over in 38 of their 75 games. So tonight, I'm going to go ahead and take the Suns to actually cover in this game, win this game by 6 or better, because they are a really good home team. So we're going to see how it goes. We're going to see how it shakes out, but that's what I'm going with here, and I like it. I'm going to be honest with you. I like it, and I think that we are on to something pretty special here. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, so we have ourselves finally our last group, our last game. It's going to be the nightcap. It's going to be between the Blazers, who pretty much have went ahead and quit for the rest of the season by telling Dame Lillard he don't have to play no more for the rest of the year. You got a Kings team trying to get back into the playoffs for the first time since 2005. It was almost 17 years. Kids are almost graduating from high school since the last time they got to the playoffs. So pretty much you have yourself a very intriguing game tonight because, a lot of people are just going to overbet the Blazers. But I don't think we should be doing that. Why? Because this is the thing. They're tied this for their season series. They got the next 2 games going against each other as well, too. Now, the Kings are 9-5 in the month of March. They lost their last game 119-115 to Minnesota, as I said. Hot team. That was their 4th win in a row. So, the Kings just pretty much were in the way, and they got beat. And then on the road, they're 22-14 straight up. They're 23-13 against the spread on the road. 41-33-1 against the spread on the season. Now they're 14-4 straight up as the road fave. And then they're 12-6 against the spread as the road fave. Now versus the Western Conference, one of the best in the West, if not the best. 29-16 straight up versus the Western Conference. And they're 26-18-1 against the spread when it comes to the West. Now, in their 75 games, they've went over 38 times. So this team is playing lights out, and regardless, they probably are playing the best basketball for a team in the Western Conference right now. Right now, like literally, they could possibly if they didn't get off to such a slow start, they could have been in the running to be the 1 seed right now. They're having an incredible season. All you gotta do is just give them their love, give them their props, give them their claps. Then you have a Blazers team coming in here 3-11 this month. Absolute struggle right now for this team. They lost their last 3 in a row, and they've lost the last 9 out of 10. Now at home, they're 17-21 straight up against the spread, 18-20. Now when it comes down to being a home dog, they're 2-13 straight up this year, 5-10 against the spread. Now when it comes to playing the Western Conference, they're 22-23, pretty good record there for a team that's so lowly right now. They're 25-20 against the spread when it comes to the Western Conference. Now against the spread, for a team that's playing pretty as bad as they are, they don't have a bad record. It's 36-39 against the spread. And then when it comes down to the 75 games that they've been in, they've went over in 37 of them. So pretty much with this, I'm going to go ahead and take the big spread tonight, and that's going to be this right here. It's going to be plus 14 on the it's going to be plus 14 on the Blazers tonight. So there it is. It's okay. We'll take the Blazers with the we'll take the Blazers in that regard, because the Blazers should be they should have a little bit of pride tonight. That's my whole thing. Have some pride tonight. You know what I mean? Just have a little bit of pride for us tonight. You know, that's how we all feeling tonight. Just have a little pride, you know? And so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. So I like the plus 14 here. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. All right. So let's go ahead. I know I'm running a little bit over today, but it's okay. Let's go ahead and get into Talking Tickets. And Talking Tickets, I'm going to bless you guys today as usual. I'm going to bless you guys with the MLB over-under wins future. So if you guys like them, bet them. If you don't like them, fade them. You know, I ain't asking you to do that much. You know what I mean? I'm not asking you to do much. All right, so we got the AL East first. Orioles over 76.5. They are my surprise playoff team as well, too. Red Sox under 77.5. Yankees over 95. Rays under 88.5. And then we got the Blue Jays over 92.5. I got the Yankees winning the AL East this year. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. All right, we got the AL Central right now. The AL Central, I got this one set up for the White Sox over 81, the Guardians over 86.5, the Tigers over 70.5, the Royals under 69.5 in a last place finish, and the over 82.5 with the Twins. Who do I have winning the division this year? I got the White Sox with the plus 225. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. All right, we got the AL West, and I'm as you can see, I'm trying to be bold here. I got the Astros going under 95.5 game wins this year. I also have the Angels going over 82.5 wins this year. I have the A's probably going to be the worst team in baseball, under 59.5 games this year. We got the Mariners. I have them over 90 this year. The Mariners over 90. I feel like the Mariners can be a possible 97 to 100 win team this year. And then you got the over 82 with the Rangers. The Rangers might not make the playoffs this year, but I think the Rangers will be better than 81 and 81 this year. I think the Rangers will be right there in the thick of things. And I'm just putting it out here like this because I truly do feel that this division is going to be a lot better than it looks on paper this year. I feel like the Rangers, Mariners, and Angels really have some unfinished business with the Astros. It's almost like enough is enough. You know what I mean? But I'm giving you guys 5-1 with the Mariners to win the AL West this year as one of my surprise picks for the season. All right, we got the NL East, and we got the NL East with the Braves under 95 this year. Marlins over 76. Mets over 94.5. I think the Mets will wind up being the best team in the National League this year if they can stay healthy. And then you have the Phillies over 88, and then you have the Nats under 59. They'll probably be the worst team in the National League this year. And when it comes down to the NL East champs, we're going to take the minus 110 on the Mets to go ahead and right that wrong from last year. We all know the Mets blew a 12-game lead. They should have won that division last year, but they blew a 12-game lead. It's just that simple. And then we have the NL Central. Cubs over 76.5. They should be much better than they were last year. And the Cubs do have a strong chance of winning that division as well, too, because they do have the guys that have been there before. And then you also have the Reds over 65.5. Not that much over the 65.5 wins because you're still not really a good team. But I like players I like Hunter Green a lot. I think Hunter Green is going to be an absolute stud. And I absolutely think he can be an all-star this year as well, too. And then we got the Brewers, who I really like a lot here. They're over 86.5 wins for me this year. And then the Pirates, I don't see them being a good team, but I do see them being a hard-hitting, hit a whole bunch of home runs team. The under 66.5, very, very, I like it. And then the Cardinals, I feel like they'll regress this year. I'm taking the under 88.5, but they're still going to be in the thick of things. They're still going to be in a race. You know what I mean? So it's not like they're going to just be out of this thing. So when it really comes down to it, you look at it and you say it's going to probably be Brewers Cardinals. But the Cubs can rear their ugly head here if they can go ahead and stay healthy and get some mojo going as well, too. So with that, that's going to be a wrap on our plays because I gave you guys the NL West earlier, but let's go ahead and look at it one more time. As I said before, I have the D-backs going over 75.5. I got the Rockies going under 66.5. Also have the Dodgers under 96.5 this year. The Padres under 93.5. And then I got the over on the 81.5 when it comes to the Giants. So that's going to be their wins. And once again, I got the Dodgers winning the division. So there it is. There it is. Let's go ahead and jump into the NBA Super High Five tonight. And the NBA Super High Five, as I already said, it is going to be a ticket. And let me get you guys the exact number for this ticket as well, too. The exact number on this ticket is going to be this. It's going to be 32-1 on this ticket tonight. So we got a 32-1 ticket here on the Super High Five. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. Single what you like, but as I always say, small risk, big reward. 32-1 looks good to me. Let's see if we can get it home. That's all I can say. All right. So pretty much with that, I want to thank you guys very much for tuning in today. You guys are the absolute best. And, I always enjoy doing the show. And I think I got a little spirited today talking about Devin Haney and Loma and all those guys and talking a lot about the Dodgers today as well, too. So, just a little over and everything like that. So I thank you guys very much for tuning in once again. And you guys are the absolute best. That's all I can say is that you guys are the absolute best. And pretty much I'll be back to you guys tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And also 4 p.m. Pacific time, I will be on Voice America with Mike Abadir on the Mike Abadir Show. We'll be talking a whole lot of baseball on there as well, too. And tomorrow is opening day in the major leagues as well. So be ready. We got big cards coming. I can't wait. I'm locked in. I am locked in on some baseball tomorrow. So I'm ready. Hope you're going to be ready. And pretty much with that, this is going to be the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And this is, and as I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.